Welcome to another episode of Speaking with the Senator. Today is July 3rd, and we have a wonderful guest who is going to be running for state representative because he's a patriot, he's a colonel, he's a doctor, and he's also a candidate for state rep in the town of Hollis. And so I want to welcome you, Jim Kelly, right? Dr. Jim Kelly, Colonel Jim Kelly.
Pick anything. Jim Kelly is fine.
Jim Kelly for state representative, and thank you for stepping up to the plate. It's quite a commitment, for running for state rep. It's definitely an honor to have you there because of your background. So you're a physician?
I am. I've been a family practice physician for about 40 years now. In Hollis since 98.
Wow.
And I practice out of both St. Joe's and southern New Hampshire as well as Dartmouth.
St. Joe's, okay, interesting. Well, we were talking a little bit about that off camera. I didn't know you were a doctor at there, where we got these new baby boxes, where safe boxes for individuals that are maybe having a difficult time, and so they can drop off their child, a safe place for them. And I know our church donated to that, which is a wonderful thing. But so you've been practicing for quite a while now, huh? Yeah.
And part of my mission has been to take care of the underserved.
Yep.
And to make sure that the marginalized people get the care that they deserve. And those are the sorts of things that I feel I can bring to the State House, making sure that the marginalized get a voice, making sure that, because of my Army experience, that our veterans, as well as our non-veteran soldiers, have the quality of health care that they deserve.
Right. Well, we appreciate that. My son, like I told you, he's also in the military. Just had a golf game with him in Hollis the other day, which I got 114.
I think I'm probably the only physician in America who doesn't golf.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. So, general practice?
Yeah, family medicine.
Family medicine. That's kind of a dying breed.
It is. And again, that's another one of those skills that I bring to the State House. My training is always to look at the big picture. Mm-hmm. When someone comes in, for example, with heart disease, it's not just the heart disease. It's, who are they taking care of? Are they taking care of an elderly parent? Are they working 2 jobs? And you can't just sit around and say, get some exercise.
Right.
You need to be able to figure out what is in the big picture for them, what's preventing them from losing weight. What are the things that we can do? For example, I recommend that every time you open the refrigerator, take out a quart of milk and do 20 curls.
There you go.
And, that is a mechanism for those who are just too busy to go to a gym and can't do the things that they would normally do. But you need to look at the big picture. You need to be able to see everything that's going on in their lives.
Well, we definitely need your background up there. I sit as vice chair on Health and Human Services since I've been up there. And the amount of issues that come before us, whether it's the pharmaceuticals, whether it's PAs or vaccines, a host of issues, Medicare, Medicaid. There's so many different silos that deal with healthcare, and it's very important that we get it right, because it does affect both the undeserved and the rest of us. So, and we want to draw in more people, more physicians, more nurses. There's a shortage of nurses in the state, so that really is quite the issue that we're dealing with. On multiple levels, but your background in that will be greatly needed.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Again, it's the big picture. For example, if we take care of mental health issues in the state, mm-hmm. maybe we'll take care of the homeless issues at the same time. Maybe we'll take care of the domestic abuse issues at the same time. Maybe we'll take care of the gun tragedies at the same time. And, if you can kill 3 birds with 1 stone, let's do it. Let's look at that big picture and see how all of these other issues tend to fall into that one category, like mental health.
Speaking of that, I saw a post on Facebook, and an individual was saying, I just came out of a particular establishment in one of the towns, and he took a picture of an individual whose pants were halfway down and lying in the road, and he says, "Oh, look what I just ran into." Ugh. And I thought to myself, that poor soul. Not trying to be a holier than thou, but I thought, God have mercy on that guy that's in the street, because there might be an addiction, but what led to the addiction? How did it start? How do you get him off it? It's easy to condemn. It's easy to be, oh my God, and there is a homeless situations, and you definitely want to be able to deal with that, but you can't lose your compassion.
Exactly.
And so in the process of wanting to deal, I mean, sometimes it's tough love. You definitely have to do tough love, but at the same time, don't lose your compassion in the process, I felt really bad for the guy. It's a tragedy upon a tragedy.
Right.
And was it mental? Was it addiction? I'm 22 years sober, so I know a little bit about that, and sometimes even if you want to stop, you can't. And so the resources out there to help you with that, because the long-term affects your wallet if that person gets off the dole, if you will.
Yep, exactly. And again, if we can look at root causes, look at the big picture, and see how these things interact, the drug addiction, the suicide rate, all of these things have, kind of a bottom line of mental health that's not being taken care of.
Right. Yeah, so you're a colonel as well.
I am, yes.
All right. So how did that happen?
Well, at age 58, I decided to join the Army.
Okay.
It was my turn. I had a student deferment during Vietnam.
Wow.
And
okay.
I just felt.
Well, you're still serving as a doctor, but yeah.
Yeah, and the National Guard in New Hampshire let me know that they had a shortage of physicians, and I just decided it was pretty much my turn to do it.
Wow.
And it was an absolutely wonderful experience. I put 15 years in, and I left as the joint surgeon for both Army and Air, which means that I was responsible for anything medical going on for the state and the National Guard. If you remember the COVID response with all our guys in uniform who were out giving shots and doing that sort of stuff, those are my kids.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Yeah. Did you have to go across overseas at all at any point?
I was deployed 3 times, once to Afghanistan, once to Iraq, and once to the UAE.
Wow. Yeah, my son, I was telling you, he served in Afghanistan. He went to a couple other places where I didn't know where he was at, but it's okay. Okay. He's alive. That's all that matters. The world's on fire right now. But so you served there, and I'm sure there's a lot of things that you learned just being a colonel.
One of the things that is, again, helps me in the State House, is to recognize that the Army always has workarounds. Bureaucracy in the Army is huge. And how do you achieve the mission with these obstacles in front of you? And I think, as you look at the State House, there are tons of obstacles in terms of, implementation of law, right?
Right.
And how do you manage that? Are you able to circumvent one obstacle and get partnerships for other aspects? And that is what the Army has taught me. And I bring that strength to the State House.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've learned as well is that there is you almost have to be a parliamentarian up there, in that you have to build coalitions with individuals, sometimes that you don't agree with, and if you can look past the party and look at the person and find some areas of agreement, that really does help motivate. I got a nice compliment from Senator Waters the other day, how much that we accomplished in energy. And he's a Democrat, I'm Republican. And we're probably on the furthest on spectrums on a lot of the social issues. But after committee, I got to tell you, when the mics are off, then we could sit back and say, so how's your family? Yeah. What concert you going to? Those things keep everything's very civil, and a lot gets accomplished because I'm sitting next to a professor.
Exactly.
Right, and I'm not a professor. I'm sitting next to a farmer, and all these things. Well, if you can bring these people together with their backgrounds, and you can read the room. So this is what we can accomplish. You set up the mission.
And accomplish the mission by having a good team. Right.
And that teamwork is definitely dream work. There will be times where you have to have courage to say, no, And those are, again, I'm sure that's something that you learned in the military, or when you're a doctor, you have to say, hey, listen, you keep smoking that cigarette, you're going to die.
That's right.
Right? Or those donuts.
Well, and you read, as you said, you read the room.
Yeah.
Why are you going to be most effective?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, you have to tell the gentleman that drinking a bottle of scotch every night isn't going to work for you.
Right. Right, and I think that's where we're at. But there's a lot of polarization going on, and so hopefully we can bring some community back to the legislature, and hopefully you can bring that, because you're very familiar with community, being in Hollis, and small town, right?
It's a small town. It's a delightful town.
Yeah.
And you do get to know people on a personal basis, and you walk around Monument Square for 4th of July holiday. There are people, some of them are my patients, some of them, are people that have siblings in the military. Your son's in the National Guard. So these are things that, you have common ground, and just keep that common ground.
Yeah. And we again, we're glad that you're stepping up to the state. So what was the deciding factor for you? I mean, when did it happen? You said, you know what, it's time. It's just like going into the military, right?
My feeling is that the State House needs the people that are actually have boots on the ground in the community. As a leader in the National Guard, I drew all of my abilities from listening to medics, listening to the kids who are actually carrying the rifles, who are doing the ruck marches. Those are the ones that can tell you how to manage things. And I think that's what's important in the State House. I think we need people who are in the community, professionals, non-professionals. I think that people who've had experience in life in our communities are the best people to be able to decide what is good for the state.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm a small business owner, do a lot of flood work, cleaning, put my hands in a lot of toilets, wash a lot of floors on my hands and knees, suck up a lot of stuff that, and in the process, you're talking to the people in their homes, and so, this is a disaster, don't worry about it, we're going to take care of it for you. And you can have more compassion on them because of the lifestyles that they're living. Not everybody's living in a 3,000 square foot house. Some people are living in an 800 square foot room. For real, and it's tidy, and they're a single mom with a couple of kids, or aged individuals. You just go through all these different types of individuals that you have touch, and you feel, and you're in their homes, and you're feeling what they're going through, and you can bring that. And I'm not a professor, I'm not a doctor, I'm a layman. A sharp TV host, but a musician. But my walks of life and my gifts are kind of like yours in that bringing people together and knowing, okay, so you're a professor. How does this look, on paper? You're a farmer. What do you think about these seeds? What do you think about these type of products that are being put into the ground? PFAS. You're septic. We have a senator who designs septic systems. So they all have such an amazing experience when it comes to, whether you're going to put in a system, you're going to get a permit, you got to do this, or you're a doctor and you've got to go, or a pharmacist. My chairman of HHS is a pharmacist. And you can glean off of them, and you can feel the expertise that they bring. So the fact that you have all this background is going to be a great asset. One of the state reps gave you a glowing review in our previous interview, by the way. Well, Representative Liz Barber, she was talking about you. Just want to let you know that.
She is part of our team.
Yeah. She's
the leading factor in our team, and she had a huge influence in getting me to run. That's
great, and that's fantastic, because we need good representation. And so, how do people get in touch with you as far as helping you out with your campaign?
We have the same email address.
It'll come to you. Yeah.
Common Sense for NH.
Common Sense for NH.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I certainly have a Facebook account,
Okay.
and you can certainly get through to me by phone. And you get all that information on the website.
So today it's 99 degrees out there. What do you advise people when it gets this hot?
Stay indoors. We're not in France.
We're not in France. Well, France is going through it now.
Yeah.
They
don't have air conditioning.
They don't have, only 10 or 20% of the population in France have air conditioning. They're not used to this type of weather.
We're at the 250th anniversary and think that all of us here live better than John D. Rockefeller.
I can't, that's weird that you say that, because I just heard that maybe a week or two ago, and you're right. We have the big screen TVs. We've got the refrigerators that have our favorite beverage or our favorite food. We have the vehicles that can get us from point A to point B within an hour if it's 60 miles away. Yeah. It's crazy.
You get coast to coast in 4 hours.
Right.
I mean, we live better than John D. Rockefeller.
Yeah.
And that's America. And we should all be proud of this country and what's been accomplished, both on the civilian side and on the military side.
Yeah, we do see a lot of negative things these days, and it's unfortunate because we are blessed. And it seems the more blessed we get, sometimes we forget to be thankful. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you.
And we wish you the best of luck. Any final statements for the people in Hollis? Or?
Well, I intend to represent all of them. I think that even though there may be people across the aisle that are skeptical of Republicans, I think there needs to be a way in which we can all achieve the same goals. In Hollis particularly, we have the property tax issues. Mm-hmm. We have these funding for education issues. And I think, we're all on the same side in terms of everybody wants to reduce property taxes. Everybody wants to have adequate funding for education. Our kids deserve it. Methods in which we get there are different, but I think we all want the same mission to be accomplished.
Right, and have a robust conversation in the process.
Yeah,
and still like each other at the end.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. And until next week, thanks. That's all right. Thanks. He wants to get out of here. So until next week, thanks for watching not Gate City Chronicles, Speaking with the Senator. Gate City Chronicles is the other show we host. And if you like the show, please hit the like button and subscribe. And until next week, thanks a lot.